back our girls. Bring back our girls has to be more than just a Twitter slogan, a Twitter hashtag. It has to actually be done. We're talking about the girls in Nigeria who were kidnapped by Boko Haram, the terrorist organization. And it's news today because 21 of them, a mere 21 of them, have just been released. I mean, yes, that's better than nothing. But 276 of them were initially abducted from a school in Chibok. They were sleeping quietly, nicely, peacefully in their dorm before finals when Boko Haram terrorists swept in and kidnapped them. Now, fortunately, some of them ran away, but 219 of them were actually finally kidnapped by the Boko Haram terrorists. And one of them has since somehow been found in the forest with her terrorist husband. And today, 21 of them were actually released because of negotiations with Boko Haram between the International Red Cross and Switzerland. Well, grateful for that, but what's taking everybody else so long? Part of it is the Nigerian government, which has the military, has a $2.3 billion budget. But they are rife with corruption, so they're not spending much of that money on getting these girls back. And can you imagine if this happened in America? I mean, really, can you imagine? Would we wait 2 years for our government, our military, to get back our girls? Mothers would be storming the White House. There would be protests all over America. I have a daughter. If she had been kidnapped by a terrorist organization, I would be out in the streets doing whatever I could to get her back. Now, I understand, unfortunately, the mothers in Nigeria don't have as much power as the mothers or the families in America. And that's why we need to call for more to be done. They need assistance from outside their country to get the government and the military to release these girls. It's so sad. Ironically, at the same time that they're in denial about how important it is to release these girls, ironically, just the same time this past week, there was a suicide bombing, and they believe it was by a woman, and likely it could have been one of these girls who were kidnapped and turned into suicide bombers, because that is what's happening. And so they're being tortured, they're being raped, they're being made into wives of terrorists of this group of Boko Haram, and they are suffering psychologically tremendously, whether they are released or kept there. They're suffering from PTSD. They're suffering from anxiety and depression and nightmares and guilt if they have been turned into suicide bombers, guilt for not escaping, guilt for feeling that they're betraying their families. And particularly, they have abandonment issues because they're wondering where everyone is, why they haven't gotten them to be released before now. It's been 2 years. And so we need to call on the Nigerian government, again, not just through a hashtag in Twitter. That's very passive. It's very easy to make a little tweet and to put a hashtag on it, but it's a lot harder and more important to actually do something more to get the government to release them.